Hey guys, so it's Henry, and in this video what I want to talk about are my experiences of growing a personal brand online, how that benefits you in business. So basically as well, why you want to build a personal brand online, how that's going to benefit you business wise, get you more sales and so on. And also, if you decide to do that, then what are the ways that you can go about building a personal brand, or just an overall framework for you to build a personal brand online. So firstly, I will say just a bit about what a personal brand is. In my opinion, a personal brand is basically, or any brand at all, is basically what people, a feeling people get when they think of a particular brand, or when they think of a particular name, what feeling it evokes in their mind, what words come into their mind. So if I was to mention, for example, BMW to you, what words are going to come to you? It might be things like luxury, it might be elegance. If I was to mention Mercedes-Benz, it might be class, really good engineering, for example. That's the words that those brands evoke in your mind. I might say another brand and it might evoke something negative in your mind. So in my opinion, a personal brand just basically as a result of the work that you put out there, the feeling that people get when your name is mentioned, the feelings that people get about you in terms of business. What feelings do you evoke when people basically mention your name? When your name is put out there, what's the feeling that your name evokes? So again, perhaps with you, if you haven't built any personal brand at all, when your name is mentioned in a business sense, it doesn't necessarily evoke anything. Now that is fine, that's okay, but in my opinion, the best place that you want to be is when your name is mentioned in business. It evokes a particularly positive feeling. People know the expertise you bring to the table. People know what sort of qualities you have, and naturally that's going to help you close more clients, get more sales, and so on. So how that's related to me, I've noticed when I started building my brand, started putting out content, for example, relates to what I've got an expertise in, which is marketing, as you guys know. It made it far easier for me to close clients. I've got clients directly through the brand that I'm building. I've got consultation clients directly through the brand that I'm building. And people, again, know that I can deliver, at least to a high extent, know that I can deliver on the work that I provide. Because again, weekly, sometimes daily, I'm putting out content related to these principles. So obviously I know a bit about what I'm talking about in terms of growing businesses online, growing brands online, marketing on Facebook and so on. So in a large way, I do know what I'm talking about. And most importantly, I'm practicing what I'm preaching. So for example, think about it this way. If, again, I know I'm using a lot of analogies and things like that, but if you were to think about it this way, think about if you were hiring somebody for a project. It could be an agency, it could be a specific person, and you've got two candidates. One candidate has got nothing to show for themselves. They've got no brand, so to speak. They've got no feeling that evokes, and you're not aware of them at all. That's the first person. But that first person claims that they can do the work. They claim they've got some certain expertise, but you're basing that on nothing really, apart from the past work that they show. And of course, you can fake screenshots and things like that. That's another story. But the second person has got this personal brand that they're building. You're aware of them. You're aware of the work that they deliver. You know of past clients that they worked with and so on. This person has got a lot of social proof in terms of the work. They've got some kind of brand. Which person are you more likely to perhaps go with? This, if everything else was equal, which person are you more likely to pick for the project? Which person are you more likely to want to work with? More likely it's going to be the person that's built up some sort of personal brand. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm most likely right. Most of you at least will say the person that built up some sort of personal brand. You trust this person more. And again, back to another point, a lot of sales is based around getting people to like and trust you. At the end of the day, a lot of business that you do is based on you liking or trusting the person on the other end of the business deal. So with your personal brand, you can build a rapport with an audience. You can get them to, one, like you in some way because you're sharing your personality, you're sharing stories, sharing expertise, and providing value as well. You build up a brand in that way. People like you in some way, they trust you, and you have a rapport with them. So they're more likely to want to do business with you. Once again, a lot of sales techniques, which are good. I recommend you learn sales techniques, but a lot of sales techniques are based on using certain techniques to get people to like you, get people to trust you, and overcome objections. By putting out content, by building a brand, you've already done a large part of the work. So for example, I know that through putting out my brand, I might have mentioned in this video already because I repeat myself sometimes, but I've closed clients far easier once I started building up a brand, because once again, clients know what I bring to the table. And even though if I get on a conversation now with a prospective client, you do need to use certain sales skills, but your brand does, as I said, some of the heavy lifting for you. People are aware of what you bring to the table. Again, in the future, I might take on a lot more people of my team. I'm building up a team for my marketing agency. I do have a marketing agency. That's one of the things that I do basically on a daily basis, but I'm building up more of a team. But again, it's still going to be easier to get clients to take on, even if I'm not doing the direct work, because they know the person behind the scenes, the person that's in charge of everything, knows what they're about in terms of marketing and is practicing what they're preaching, gets results in a certain area. So again, even if I'm building a team in this around my brand, it's going to help me get more business. Of course, you might not want to focus completely on your personal brand. That's not what I'm doing as well. You also, of course, might want to build up a corporate brand at the same period of time. So I'm working on my agency, building up the brand of my agency, as well as building up the brand of myself, and I definitely am reaping the rewards. So once again, if you guys decide, okay, you do want to try your hands out at building a personal brand, what are the things to do? The things to do are basically just to put out consistent content. And I would say the best platform to do this is where you're watching me now, which is on YouTube. And that's because the best form of building a relationship with an audience, apart from, of course, meeting them in person, sitting down for a coffee, chatting about life with them, is having these discussions. And I call them discussions because I believe it's a two-way thing. But having these discussions with a camera on YouTube, those are the second best ways, apart from meeting somebody in person, to build up a relationship. So by putting out content, and especially if you're somebody who's thinking about doing some sort of coaching, doing some sort of consultations, this is the best way to build up that rapport with the audience that you want to reach. So YouTube is the best way. Again, you can combine YouTube with not just being a video platform. I do have in the captions and so on, in the description of the YouTube video, you can put long form text content if you want to write some things on there. You can direct people to other parts of your funnel to build a bigger relationship with you in your YouTube as well. So I would say definitely the best way to build a best way to build a personal brand in this day and age is to start putting out content weekly, and if better, daily on YouTube. So again, if that's you thinking about doing that, just follow these principles, start building up your personal brand, and definitely that's going to reap rewards for you business-wise. Now, again, as I mentioned in the past points of this video, it's not necessary that you need a personal brand to actually kill it in business or actually be doing really well with business. Some niches or some businesses don't require a personal brand at all, even though I do think it'll help in some way. For example, if you're building just an e-commerce store, you might necessarily not want to have a personal brand. It doesn't do anything necessarily. It doesn't get you bigger results for your e-commerce brand, and in that case, you might not want to do that. But for me, again, this directly impacts my marketing agency. But again, a side note as well, it can also help your e-commerce business in some way if you decide to attach your personal brand to your e-commerce store. Like, I know of some influencers who they built up their brand, they built up their personal name, and then they've launched an e-commerce store. And because of their brand, they sell a whole lot just because of that personal brand and trust that they built up. People know or feel that the products are trustworthy because they trust this person that's standing behind the brand. So again, once again, we buy from people that we like and trust. This is just letting you guys know the benefits of building up a personal brand online and how you can do that if you decide to do that. So again, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Hope you got some value from this. Bit of slightly different from some of the videos on this channel, but this is going to be still helpful for you guys. So once again, leave me any comments, guys, if you want to know any questions or want anything answered in future videos. Once again, I do thank you for watching. Please like or subscribe this to support the channel if you like this sort of content. I do appreciate it a lot. And the second thing, it boosts my ego, which is also very good for me. I'm joking about that, but once again, thanks for watching, guys, and regardless, I will see you on the next video.